Europe trembled. The year was 1939. The Nazi war machine, hungry for conquest, cast a long shadow across the continent. Fear was the common language. From the bustling cities to the quiet countryside, a sense of dread permeated every breath. No one felt safe. The world held its breath, bracing for the storm that was to come. The very foundations of peace and freedom seemed to crumble under the weight of impending war. The Nazi regime, with its iron fist, had already swallowed Austria. The world watched in horror as Hitler, the architect of this nightmare, tightened his grip on Europe. His promises were hollow, his ambition boundless, his thirst for power unquenchable. The drums of war beat louder, a relentless rhythm that echoed in the hearts of millions. Anxiety hung heavy in the air, a suffocating blanket of uncertainty. In the small village of Dubenec, Czechoslovakia, life went on. Nestled amidst rolling hills and verdant fields, it seemed a world away from the encroaching darkness. Here lived Josef Mencik, a simple, unassuming man. He was a man of quiet strength, known for his kindness and his love for the old ways. He possessed a deep reverence for history, particularly the age of chivalry and valor. His heart belonged to a time of knights and their codes of honor, a time when bravery was worn like a badge of honor. Josef had poured his heart and soul into building his own medieval castle. It was a testament to his passion, a monument to a bygone era. Stone by stone, he had erected his fortress, a labor of love that spoke volumes about his character. This was no simple dwelling, it was a reflection of his inner world, a place where the ideals of courage and chivalry found concrete form. It was his sanctuary, his refuge from a world teetering on the brink of chaos. Josef was a man of simple pleasures. He found solace in the pages of history books, immersing himself in tales of bravery and honor. He could often be found in his workshop, meticulously crafting his own suit of knight's armor. It was not a costume to him, but a symbol of the principles he held dear. He believed in the knightly ideals of courage, justice, and unwavering integrity. The villagers were accustomed to the sight of Josef, clad in his armor, riding his trusty bicycle through the village. They affectionately called him the Knight of Dubenec. Some might have scoffed at his eccentricities, but beneath the surface lay a deep respect for the man and his unwavering principles. Josef, in his own quiet way, embodied the spirit of a bygone era, a beacon of steadfastness in a world rapidly losing its moral compass. The unthinkable happened. On March 15, 1939, Hitler's forces stormed into Czechoslovakia. The Nazi juggernaut, unstoppable in its advance, crushed the hopes of a nation. Fear gripped the hearts of the Czech people. The world watched in stunned silence as another free nation succumbed to the tyranny of the Third Reich. The news spread like wildfire through Dubenec, casting a pall over the once peaceful village. Orders came from the overwhelmed Czech government: do not resist, surrender peacefully. Hope seemed to evaporate, replaced by a sense of helplessness. The people of Dubenec, like millions across Europe, were caught in the grip of a force they could not comprehend, let alone resist. The future seemed bleak, shrouded in the dark clouds of Nazi oppression. A solitary stand. Josef Mencik, however, refused to yield to despair. He would not stand idly by while his homeland was trampled under the boots of invaders. His love for his country, for the ideals he cherished, burned brighter than ever. He knew he was just one man against a tidal wave of steel and fury, but in his heart he knew he had to act. He had to make a stand, however small, however futile it might seem. In the quiet solitude of his castle, Josef made his decision. He would meet the enemy head-on, clad in the armor he had so lovingly crafted. It was a decision born not out of recklessness, but from a deep well of conviction. He knew the odds were stacked against him. He knew he faced almost certain death, but he would face it on his own terms, with his head held high, his spirit unbroken. Night against tanks. The following morning, Josef donned his armor. He mounted his bicycle, his lance at his side, a symbol of defiance against the overwhelming might of the Nazi war machine. He rode towards the approaching German tanks, a lone knight errant on a collision course with destiny. The sight was surreal, almost absurd, a solitary figure in antiquated armor, confronting the very embodiment of modern warfare. The German tanks, symbols of brute force and aggression, rumbled to a halt before him. A stunned silence fell over the scene. The absurdity of the situation, the stark contrast between the lone knight and the steel behemoths, was not lost on the German soldiers. For a brief moment, time seemed to stand still. The world watched, holding its breath, as David faced Goliath in a surreal reenactment of an ancient struggle. A legacy lost and found. What happened next remains shrouded in mystery. Some say the German soldiers, taken aback by this unexpected and poignant display of defiance, hesitated. Others believe Josef, overcome with emotion, charged at the tanks, his lance a futile weapon against their impenetrable armor. Whatever transpired in those tense moments, one thing is certain. Josef Mencik, the Knight of Dubenec, did not survive the encounter. His castle, his beloved sanctuary, was destroyed by the Nazis. His story, like so many others, faded into obscurity, lost in the maelstrom of World War II. The man who dared to defy an empire with nothing but his convictions became a footnote in history, his act of courage largely forgotten. But even in death, Josef Mencik left an indelible mark, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The meaning of true courage. Josef Mencik's story is a poignant reminder that true courage is not defined by the scale of the victory, but by the willingness to stand up for what is right, even in the face of insurmountable odds. It's about holding on to one's principles when all seems lost. Joseph's act of defiance, however quixotic, serves as a beacon, reminding us that even the smallest acts of resistance can hold profound meaning. In a world often obsessed with grand narratives of heroism, it's easy to overlook the quiet dignity of those who fight their battles on their own terms. Josef Mencik's story compels us to look beyond the battlefield, to recognize that true courage can manifest in the most unexpected places, in the hearts of ordinary individuals who refuse to bow to tyranny. His legacy lies not in victory or defeat, but in the unwavering spirit that led him to confront an empire armed with nothing but his convictions. Remembering the Defiant. Today, in a world still grappling with its own demons, Josef Mencik's story resonates with renewed relevance. It's a call to remember the countless acts of quiet defiance, the small acts of courage that often go unnoticed. It's a reminder that we all have the capacity for heroism, that we all have a role to play in the fight against injustice. As we navigate the complexities of our own time, let us remember Josef Mencik, the Knight of Dubenec. Let his story inspire us to stand up for what we believe in, to hold fast to our principles, even when fear threatens to consume us. Let us honor his legacy by embracing the values he embodied: courage, integrity, and an unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit to resist oppression in all its forms. For it is in these acts of defiance, however small, that hope takes root and flourishes. It is in these acts that we find the true measure of our humanity. If Josef Mencik's story moved you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to Unique History for more powerful, untold stories from our past.